Hello,
Hello,
guys.
hello, hello, hello,
Good
hello.
morning, good morning, good morning.
Fernando,
Good morning, everyone. I hear
Fernando.
Jay Levine. I hear Liba. I hear some other beautiful voices. Who is
Hi,
speaking?
Fernando.
Hi. What
Hi,
is going on,
Fernando.
everybody? Hello, hello. What's going on? Jeff Shook. Hello, everyone.
Hi, Fernando.
Hi, who is this?
It's Orly,
Oh my God, Orly, you have
The
such a
si-
distinct voice.
the silent partner.
Yes, the silent. Thank
good
you.
morning.
Good morning, Orly. I want to thank you and honor you for the work you did last week, for truly caring for the community. I honor how you stood for Kate, how you went above and beyond the call of action, not one time, not two times, not three times, a very high abundance of times. This is what mastery is all about. I was getting some questions the other day about accountability groups within the mastery program. You know, some people are not answering, some people are not showing up, some people don't want to do it. And what I want everyone to anchor with is that this is what coaching looks like. You know, I wake up every morning at 5:30 in the morning to go to the gym, and if it was not for my brother, I wouldn't go. I hate waking up that early. I hate going to the gym. So I'm super grateful to have someone in my life that, you know, pushes me through that. And that is what these accountability groups and this coaching structure is all about. Like, people have this dynamic in their mind that, oh, accountability group, it's going to be amazing. I'm going to have the perfect partner. Life doesn't show up that way. Life is going to show with people not understanding you, not getting you, not wanting to do it. And that's when true mastery steps in and influencing them to see what they're not seeing about the possibility that's there. So to everyone, and Orly, you know, you've inspired me to have this thought, is thank you, because you are standing for people that don't even have the ability to ask someone to stand for them. And you hear it and you see it, and more importantly, you execute on it. And that's what humanity is all about. So Orly, thank you for the work you're doing, for the leadership that you're showing all of us, the leadership you're showing me, reminding me to continue to humble myself and remember that everyone needs a little extra love every once in a while, myself included. And I'm super grateful to have an ecosystem like all of you that makes that happen. So Orly, thank you for your voice. Thank you for that. Please keep doing it. And if anyone has the pleasure to talk to Orly, ask her about the way she processes her decisions like that, because it is truly something to admire. So Orly, thank you.
Thank you, Fernando.
So today is Thankful Thursday, and I am thankful for all of you. I know I say that every day. I don't say it to be repetitive. I say it because I truly mean it. There's nowhere else on the planet I'd rather be at 8:30 in the morning Eastern than with every single one of you. And with that being said, we have 2 minutes before 8:30, so I'd like to pass it on to the community. I want to ask if there's anyone new that has never spoken or that had maybe just joined Mastery recently. I'd like for you to have this opportunity to grab a microphone. This is a stage, and share. And let's define share. Sharing means, hi, my name is, and I'm so happy to be here. That's it. Please don't compare, you know, Sean or myself or Jared sharing to the level of sharing you believe you need to do. Simply sharing your voice is enough. Orly said 2 words, and she inspired all these thoughts within my heart. So, you know, please do not rob us from the gift of you. So anyone that is new, anyone that has never spoken, anyone that is new to mastering, first, would you like to share what you're thankful for on this Thankful Thursday? Open it up to the rest of the community. Yes, who's this?
Hey, this is Hadaya Cross.
Hadaya Cross in the building. Team Levine, what is happening, girl? Hadaya is insane. You know, there's like certain boundaries, and Hadaya is texting me at like 4:30 in the morning. Freaking insane. And I love it because there's no one else I'd rather wake up to than a text from you, Hadaya. So what's happening, girl? What are you thankful for on this Thankful Thursday?
I'm thankful for, I officially signed up for this mastery class yesterday. Oh,
Yeah.
give me a second. I'm excited about learning how to make myself better. Guys, give mommy a second. Just go with daddy. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
I'm excited about just merging ecosystems,
Right.
with integrity. Just listening to you guys, it gives me goosebumps because there's people out there that are like me, that genuinely care about people. So I'm just excited to move forward. Thank you, the Unblinded team. Thank you, Team Levine. You guys have been absolutely great. And just always being there and being willing to share your knowledge. It's amazing. So That's me for today. Thankful Thursday.
Hadaya, thank you for your voice. Thank you for the way you showed up at the Nerve Center. She walked in a little bit skeptical, wasn't sure what she was walking into, and by the end, she was like writing notes like a lunatic, was like committed to taking her husband from hello to yes. And what I love about Hadaya is that she was not all talk, she was all execution, and she sent us a funny text going, I spoke to him, and we went from hello to yes. So I honor you. That is awesome. Shout out to your husband for believing and trusting you, and thank you for sharing your voice here this morning. Let's check in. It's 8:31. Sean, are you here with us? All right, let's get one more share, 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Sean will
Fernando,
generate.
can I grab that?
Hi, who's this?
This one's Peter from the UK.
Peter from the UK. What's up, dude?
What's up? What's up? Here's the three things I'm thankful for today. One, I'm thankful that I met you and Darcy and got introduced to this amazing movement.
Yes.
Two, I'm thankful that when I said to my wife, I really need to be in the States for a while, she said, well, let's just book it for the whole of March and April. And so I'm literally Cali bound on February 26th for 6 weeks, which is amazing. And the support from her is never a bad thing. It's amazing. But the third thing I'm really grateful for is I was on the QA the other night and I heard Sean give a synopsis of the difference between networking and ecosystem merging. And the way he described it in terms of as you're part of an ecosystem and that ecosystem steps up, your credentials within it step up and everybody rises essentially. And Sean said it much more eloquently than I am, landed with me so perfectly because that's the one part of the unblinded side of things that I never really saw that distinction. The rest of it I was totally on board with, but that I was like, nah, I don't really get it. And hearing that the other day on the QA really landed it for me. So I'm really thankful for that as well. That's it.
Awesome. Peter, thank you for staying open-minded, committing, and I'm so excited you had that breakthrough. Welcome to the United States, brother. I hope you enjoy your time in Cali, and hopefully we get to catch some rays in those 6 weeks. So let's recheck in. Sean Callagher, are you here with us? All right, we're going to take one more share and then dive into some content. Would anyone else like to share?
Hey Fernando, I just want to say one thing if I could.
Hey, I was just there.
Awesome.
Hey, good morning, guys. And Jay can go in just 1 second. I missed what Peter was sharing. I know he's up sharing. What was that share, Fernando?
So Peter was sharing 3 things that he's grateful for. He was sharing how he's grateful for Darcy and I for introducing him to the Unblinded movement. He's grateful that he will be in California for 6 weeks, and he was grateful that he was on the Q&A the other day, and that when you were describing the distinctions between networking and ecosystem merging, there was a lot of, I don't really get it, I'm not about it, and in your share, it landed for him. So he was grateful for you for helping him have that distinction.
No, that's awesome. Thank you, Peter. So Jay, what's up, brother? And everybody, happy Thankful Thursday. I'm sorry?
I'll be really quick. I have like a million things to say. I feel like I'm on fire, but one thing I wanted to say was just to let this land for everybody out there. And Sean, you had mentioned it once before that when you say, unblinded to somebody, or when you talk about networking, when you talk about like ecosystem merging, it sounds weird to people. So what I realized yesterday is the more influential people that this is in front of, the more the word gets out there. And then when you say this, the more it's going to sound like not weird at all. So it's just like, I'm getting it in front of some people that are really influential. And when they find out how fantastic it is, it's never going to sound weird to anybody again. So I just felt like I had to say that this morning. I have a million other things to say, but I'll just keep quiet at that.
And what do you mean by that, Jay?
What's that?
And what do you mean by that when you say like it's not going to sound weird again? Just share.
No.
I think I know what you're saying.
What I mean is when you said, a few days ago, it might have been that, some people still feel weird when they're talking about this with somebody and, they feel like, there's a lot of opinions right away. And knowing this, it's when this actually gets in front of, and as it starts to get in front of all the people that you're connecting it to, when you have an ecosystem merger for Unblinded, it truly does help all of us. And when I, even like when I have an ecosystem with Unblinded with somebody, it's helping everyone. It started to click to me how it's helping everybody, because it's that credibility that it brings when it's in front of all these fantastic influential people. And when you can say the formula helped me raise X amount of dollars to save people from sexual slavery, you know, that's serious. You know, that's real. That's not hype. It's not,
Yeah,
you know,
that's awesome, brother. Fantastic. Thank you. So Fernando, on this Thankful Thursday, what is present for you?
What is present for me, and my apologies, it sounds a little staticky, so if I'm staticky, please let me know. What I am thankful for are the committed leaders in this movement. It brings me so much joy to hear the level of questioning that we're getting within the Q&A, because what I'm present to is that it's landing. People are getting it. They're asking, you know, level 2, level 3 questions within the formula, and the only way to get there is by beginning to play with it. So I honor the leaders, I honor those that are committed to the formula, because that's what mastery is. When you share the formula, you win. When you begin to speak the formula, you win. When you begin to train the formula, your mastery rises. So I honor all of you for asking the sharpness of your questions. That is evidence of the sharpness of your listening. And nothing brings me and us at Unblinded more joy than seeing you win. And that happens within sharing the formula. So I'm super grateful for all of you.
Awesome. And here is, if I could share my gratitude for today. One is remembering the fun of all this. So we can get serious, we can get tired. It's like, I remember when I was first learning to ride a bicycle in Overpeck Park in Richfield Park, New Jersey, and falling and getting a bloody nose. And I literally picked my bicycle up and threw it against the fence. It bounced off the fence and hit me back in the face. That was a true moment, and it was not fun. So sometimes it could be like frustrating. And I remember when I just like was riding, and it felt so incredible that there had been those distinctions added. And I remember a year later, and this was a little crazy because I was only, I think, 7, riding from my house in Richfield Park to Overpeck Park. And I thought, I'm like, well, I remember I couldn't ride the bike and falling all over the place just not that long ago. And I don't think I've ever told that story before, but that was a powerful breakthrough moment of personal development. And personal development is not something else. It's something that we do our entire life, and most people stop. So I am incredibly grateful not only for the fun and the excitement of it, but second, for that distinction, that personal development is not something else. It's not something we get to increase our level of woo spirituality. It's not something that we get that is something else and strange and bizarre and weird. Personal development was when we came out of the locker room in high school wrestling to Born to be Wild, and we're getting into a position of self-mastery, getting our body, listening to the music, the crowd going crazy, or in the locker room, listening to music by Bruce Springsteen before a high school football game. That was personal development. And people stop personally developing, this is my hallucination experience, in truly powerful and meaningful ways as they get older. And so for many of the people that I loved and cared about, their personal development was sort of ceased as their formal education stopped. And then maybe they would learn how to use a computer when computers first came out. And I remember, I was in the transitional stage of when I first started my legal career, I was typing arbitration demands. Literally, I was personally typing when I started my own stuff, my own firm, on a typewriter. And so personal development was learning to use a computer to work. And so it's not otherness, it's here. And third, I am thankful for the results formula. And the formula is there not as something strange or weird or like, oh, there's this like thing. It's just how it works. So it's human technology. That's all it is. Just like we would learn to swing a baseball bat, just like we would learn to play a musical instrument. I'm thankful for the reality that there's a reason that people like people. There's a reason that people say yes to people. And it can be done in complete integrity. It certainly can be done out of integrity. And I'm very confident that over time that is massively destructive. So I don't think that it works over time. And I think that even for people who succeed over a period of time, being out of integrity in their influence, their self-mastery, to me, my experience has been, tends to be disrupted and messed up, where they're unhappy and they're engaging in other ways to regulate themselves. So I am not sitting on this phone call and saying there are people in the world who exist out of integrity their entire life and potentially are some level of a sociopath and are completely okay with it. but it's a microscopic percentage of people. So the way to have more money in less time with more magic is a formula. And for those that are new, it's a formula that exists independently of what we're saying. We're just studying how it works. You know, people like Robert Cialdini have written a book on influence and persuasion, and they cite studies, or Malcolm Gladwell and Blink or Talking to Strangers, they cite studies of people, and they're just recognizing how it actually works. So it's not weird, or it's not something else when Robert Cialdini says, and cites a study that says when you give people a warm drink, it increases the yes percentage significantly over when you give them a cold drink. So there's microscopic scientific distinctions that lead to different outcomes with people. And all we are doing inside the formula is saying, yeah, hey, it makes sense in your process mastery so basically and common sensibly. If you're shooting videos, you're merging ecosystems with groups of people that can be influenced, and you're understanding that if you're connecting with the people who have influence over that group and you believe in what you do and you have something to offer, when you connect through a mechanism that the people in that group will more rapidly hear your message, be open to your message, understand your message, and act upon your message, that makes sense. And it also makes sense that our brains are wired to protect us, and that our brains that protect us are going to steer us away from anything that will cause us any degree of pain. And the things that will cause us pain are the fears of failure and rejection, powerful fears that we've developed that confuse us to think we're going to die. Like, so our brains protected us originally to not be eaten by animals, to not eat the wrong thing, you know, if we're looking for food. And now those brains have looked not only for dangers that risk our life, that risk our nervous system in any way, shape, or form feeling pain. And there's ways to control that differently when the cortisol, a chemical, a scientific chemical, is released into our system. There's ways to combat that with producing other chemicals like endorphins and oxytocin and where appropriate adrenaline, those types of mixtures that make us feel better, stronger, more certain, more powerful, more effective, and it's all simply science. So when we think about all of this, when we use a word like ecosystem merger versus networking, to just touch on that point for a second, it's like, oh, well, you're just changing the words. Well, no, of course you're not just changing the words. There's a deeper context and meaning to that. There's something else. And the way our brains react to certain words, if I say, okay versus marvelous versus exciting versus loving or adventurous, each of those words make each of the people on this phone call feel slightly to very differently. For example, again, it's a fact. Science is about fact. It's a fact that every one of those words that I said meant something slightly different and made each of you feel differently when you hear them or when you say them. So learning a formula to deal with that reality is incredibly critical, far more critical than we learn the history of the United States or the country that we grew up in or world history, far more practically important and functional. That's what this program is all about, the science of all of it. Fernando, what is present for you right now?
What's present for me, and it's so serendipitous, I have like this thought in my mind on generalizing. Like sometimes people show up one way, like they're late one time, and then we accept, they're always late. So just how there's distortion on words, there's also distortions on actions. I believe that book you always mentioned by Malcolm Gladwell, I forget what it is, that we have this presumption of always thinking people are telling the truth. We also have this presumption of generalizing. And what I'm playing with in my head, so please correct me if I'm off, I see generalizing as a form of judgment. Even though it's so unintentional and subconscious, when we generalize, it could be right, it could be wrong. What I'm like battling with in my mind right now is thinking about how I stand up for that. Oh, this happened, let me not assume this is how they are, how they always show up, just like I'm present, that the word strong means something to me and completely different to the 100 people on this call. So that's actually a thought I've been having all morning.
Fantastic. Awesome, brother. Other questions, thoughts, or comments? What's present for you out there on this thankful Thursday? What are you grateful for?
Can I jump in on that last thought that that Fernando said? This is Tony.
Yeah, of course, Tony. What's up, brother?
Good morning, guys. How's everyone? So I did a talk yesterday in New York for a group of people, and that's something that I brought up briefly. What Fernando just said: when somebody's late and you're making assumptions, you can't make assumptions or judgments based on one act, right? If somebody's late, does that mean that they're late all the time? If somebody does something, does that mean that that's who they are? Actually means nothing. It's just a dot, right? It's a dot. It's a snapshot. It's a one particular moment in their life that something happened. We don't know what caused them to do that. We don't know what brought them to that point that caused them to be late. So making the assumption and saying, listen, this person's late all the time. This person is this way or that way or the other way is actually irrational because it's just a dot. Just like if you look at a pixelated photo and you just see that one square, you can't see the whole photo. Or as we grew up, and you're probably still in the era when we took art class and we did pointillism, right? And we're drawing with just little dots. One dot doesn't tell the whole story. One dot doesn't show you the whole picture. So make sure you've got a bunch of dots that you can start to see a picture or connect the dots before you form a judgment on somebody and label somebody a certain way, or this person is this or that. And so many times in our influence mastery, sales mastery, we make those assumptions, and that shuts us down, because the minute we start judging, we lose the ability to connect with people. So that's it.
Yeah, hey,
Can
Tony,
I hop in there
brother,
with something? I'm sorry.
give me one second, then. Absolutely. So Tony, real quick, if there's an awesome study cited in everybody in talking to strangers, and let this land. So there's a psychologist that does an exercise where they do word association with people based on some questions or things that they show them, and the people write down the answers, and I think it's like one-word answers. And some people came up with very negative answers, like, stress, anger, upset, from, let's say, seeing a picture or a sentence. I don't forget exactly the context, but it was words reflected in answers. And they would show the person their own words. So let's say Tony is seeing his own words. And let's say Tony's words were negative. And the therapist would say, or the counselor would say, hey, so what do you think that says about you? And the answer for people about themselves would be, no, it doesn't really say anything about me. It's just words. I was just reacting. That's kind of what it meant. It's what it was. When they would show the person, let's say Tony, Fernando's words, Tony would go, oh, that says that Fernando's a negative person. So our ability to judge others, or tendency or propensity to judge others, is extraordinary. And our judgment of ourselves is through a completely different prism, absolutely documented in many studies, and certainly that one.
Yes.
So exactly what Tony is saying, let's be super aware of our ability to make up stories and judge other people, and not only for the negative, but also where we put ourselves down, where we're not worthy, we're not enough. There's somebody else. They have more money. They have more influence. They have more power.
Change your life.
Yeah, absolutely, brother Roger. Yeah, absolutely. So just remember, these are facts. This is science that we're talking about, that we do these weird things that we're unaware of, and we take high school classes in science. We don't learn this. We take biology, we take chemistry, we take physics. And with respect to the traditional educational system, I'd like to know a lot more about this than I would. I don't think I use biology very often, right? And it's great if somebody's going to go into the medical field and health field, but I wish I knew this a long time ago. And that's what we're doing for people, so they can go from hello to yes with integrity, understanding all and master ourselves, understanding our own weirdness, the weird things we do and other people do, no judgment, but we do. Who is that awesome female voice?
So let me just,
hi, Sean.
If I can just kind of top that off for a second, I think that this is something that we do need to teach in schools. And it's something that I've started doing, going to kids, to high schools and having those conversations. So I think that it's definitely something that we need to look at, because that was the topic of the conversation yesterday, was language and focus. And, you know, I post something, and I just want to share this real quick. I post something on a pretty regular basis that says, you know, some people live in a bitter, hate-filled world. Some people live in a beautiful,
Somebody's got some
love-filled
banging
world.
in the background. Well, start one more time, Tony, because there's banging in the background. Go ahead.
I said, some people live in a hate, bitter-filled world. Other people live in a love, beautiful, love-filled world. Same world.
Absolutely, brother. That's exactly what we're talking about.
That's
I
it.
believe we have Joan Greco. You were going to share a few thoughts.
Joan is in the house from Sun Valley, Idaho. What's up, Joan?
Woo. Good morning, everyone. I wanted to just build on what Tony was just saying, and it's a quote from Alison Armstrong, that there is no such thing as a relationship. We have lots of different types of relationships in our lives, but so no such thing as a relationship, but many, many instances of relating. So that if someone that you're in relationship with has a bad moment, or you get a no, or whatever it is, it's just that moment, that instance of relating. It shouldn't shut everything down.
That is awesome. Well, thank you, Joan. Joan, how are you doing? Like, how's Sun Valley going for you? What are you thankful for in this Thankful Thursday?
I am thankful that I'm in this ecosystem and getting to meet with people. The amount of information that we are learning to be able to take back to our group, take personally to be able to invest and improve our lives and the lives of others is just amazing. What Tony has done to bring us together, and his ability to share his information with us is just outstanding.
Oh, thank you, Joan. And you're awesome. And thank you for all your support here. I've had the privilege of sitting near Joan a number of days here. So you're amazing. And your quest for knowledge and zeal for implementation and acceleration is inspirational. So thank you, Joan.
Thank you.
All right, anybody else? One more person want to share?
This is Karen.
It's Craig.
This is Karen.
Hey, Karen, we'll go quick 30 seconds, then Craig 30 seconds. Yeah, what's up, Karen?
Yeah, so there's so much to be thankful for today. I'm thankful for the conversation you're having right now and the discussion about children and education and what they need and what they deserve. And I think Unblinded would be amazing for kids at young ages. But I want to move on and say I am thankful because last night I got from no to yes.
Awesome.
And it was really because of this formula and a pitch I made to a parent to start an education fund, and I got a flat no, and I thought it was done, and that was 2 days ago. And yesterday I got a phone call, and that same parent said, I've been thinking about it, and you're right, and here's what I'm going to do. And the formula worked, and it's such a great feeling. And everything about my trajectory since the caucus is amazing. And I want to thank you and say that I am grateful to Unblinded. Thank you.
Oh, Karen, thank you so much. Absolutely incredible. And you are a person of massive integrity, beautiful energy, and you are certainly never pitching anything. You're sharing with people, and they're hearing you, accepting it, and acting upon it. So beautiful, Karen, and I'm excited about, all the beautiful things you're up to, and excited to speak and go make things happen. So thank you. Yeah.
Terrific.
Hey, Craig, real quick, what's up, brother?
What's going on, Sean? Good morning, everybody. I just want to thank everybody on this call. Everybody that's been sharing everything has been so amazing to wake up to. So thank you all. I'm very grateful for it. I wanted to say that for the first time last night, I understood what Fernando and Adam and Jared, all the people who are at the nerve centers talking, you, Sean, have always been talking about this, but more so I'm hearing it regularly, the idea of speaking to somebody, speaking into their listening, and actually watching them cry right in front of you just for that connection. I had 4 people actually come to me and have to pull me aside because they didn't want to cry in front of other people. And it was nothing but connecting to them. And I realized that it was just something that was so fluid that I know somebody texted Fernando last night at like 1 o'clock in the morning, 12:30 in the morning that they needed to get into this program now, into the mastery program now. And then somebody else asked that I please put them in touch with somebody this morning, like immediately before we start our day again, to get involved with this. And these are people who one person in particular, who up until a couple of months ago, I would have had no confidence in myself, or not enough confidence in myself to be able to say that I had enough value to add to these people's lives, because they're already at a level of such success in everything that they do. And watching the conversations literally go from, all right, so what is this stuff? What is this? Just another sales training? I got it. Okay. To, wow, how do I make my life better like this? And that is just something that I'm so grateful for in this movement. And it's not just the selling of the sales mastery program, it's every bit of interactions.
Yeah. Well, listen, brother, I couldn't be more happy and more excited. And as we expand and move forward, that's what it's about, that we're all growing, making things happen together. There's going to be opportunities as people become more and more advanced and learn the formula, to coach, to train, to expand in different markets and verticals, helping all sorts of different people. That is what this is about. It's not about one seminar of people coming. It's not about just being on the huddles. It's about how do we work together? How do we make things happen together that are of massive mutual benefit for people? And how do those people benefit and all of us move forward together? Like, that's what this is all about. Quick piece before I jump to Jared. Thank you, everybody, for those amazing shares. Keep that energy there. Thank you for being on the call. Thank you for listening, sharing your energy. That adds, you just being here adds energy and value, period. I often say this. I went to a small public high school, Emerson High School, the Emerson Cowboys in Bergen County, and my senior year, and of a class of 55 boys, we had 26 boys play football. And at least 10 of them rarely ever played and were, quite frankly, not that athletic. And in a larger high school, they never even would have made the team. And we went to our reunion, Tom Filatico, Roy, and other dear friends of mine a year ago, and a number of those people were there. And they came up to Tom at one point and said, what was really amazing, and I've told this story, but I hadn't had anybody actually say it, was how inclusive everybody was, how amazing it was, and what Tom and I have shared with people was that their presence on the team, the numbers, the energy, the commitment, the consistency, made everybody better. So this is truly an ecosystem, and your presence on the call makes the call better, even if you're not speaking. And when you speak, all the better. But when you're not speaking, it still adds energy and dynamics and depth and richness. So thank you. Tony Robbins' birthday coming up. Couple of moments of clarification. Tony Robbins' birthday tickets are online and open, and you can easily get them yourself, having nothing to do with Unblinded. So they're out there. Tony Robbins' birthday online. Google it, find it. We also have a link through Unblinded, so if people want to utilize that link, fine. And we are also sharing tickets with people that are in the program as something that is my gift from my Calgary Christian Foundation that I bought through that foundation, because I believe, here's why I did it, because I believe it serves my mission in that charity, which is to disrupt the belief structure that people have about Christianity and some of the negative pictures that are drawn reflexively through the media, because the media has great influence, to show that it's a religion of inclusion, of unconditional love, and that is the basis of my Calgary Christian Foundation. So that is what is happening. And a question came up about that. Oh, is this like a way to get people to sign up to Master yesterday? And quite frankly, I was offended and hurt. So that's not everybody. It was one person that asked that question. You can go get these tickets directly. And what I choose to do through my charitable foundation and how I'm supporting that mission by expanding my identity, my ecosystem, and in time will continue to expand that mission as well in a true ecosystem merger, is what I do in my belief and faith. And it's certainly not, quite frankly, not even that big a deal, you know, in any individual situation, because you could buy tickets online for, I think, $125. So if that's what people want to do, go ahead. But that's something that I decided to do in my heart. So, you know, thanks to everybody for that. That's coming. If you're in the program, come. If you're not, through us or directly, get tickets and go. This is a remarkable cause. It's February 29th, as well as go to with Beck and Siri the next day, ending horse slaughter. It is a remarkable situation and moment in time to support and aid women from being rescued. And I keep saying women, I apologize. People, humans, children, boys, girls, women from sexual slavery. And it's going to also recognize one of the most remarkable lives in the history of people creating acceleration and breakthroughs, Tony Robbins. So that's what's present. Jared, what's cooking for you, brother?
Hello, everybody. We had the biggest day yet in the Nerve Center, so that is fun. Everybody is stepping up. They're on calls, and they're recognizing that to be in service is to take people from below to yes when they know they're better with us and without us. So I love what everybody is contributing. That's amazing. Want to give Ben Fox a shout out. He stepped into his Zeus, and he had somebody go from below to yes on the first call. And then he transformed that person's life more than he could have ever done it in any other way. So big day all around, tons of positive energy. My recommendation for everybody is we did a webinar yesterday with Joseph McClendon. It was just awesome. Sean did an amazing job asking Joseph questions. Joseph answered the questions absolutely beautifully. Joseph is a student in Unblinded Sales Mastery. So he did this because he wanted to share why he said yes to that. And he also went deep into his story. If you want to see the replay, go to unblindedsalesmastery.com/Joseph. So unblindedsalesmastery.com/Joseph. And it is worth the hour. It was absolutely an extraordinary interview. Tonight is our role play on Pain ES. I am pumped for this. There were some great questions from the Q&A, and I'm hoping a few of those people step up to do the role play because it's going to be just a breakthrough for them and for all of us as we witness it. So that's what's up for me. Tons of energy. I think today, between everybody making calls in the Nerve Center, there's over 100 calls that are scheduled. So it'll be another big day. I love the energy. I love how momentum builds on momentum. Everybody, thank you for your contribution. Thank you for showing up every day. Thank you for using the formula. And thank you for making a difference in the world. Sean, back to you.
Yeah, Jared, thank you. And fantastic job. And you know, everybody, this is a beautiful and incredible moment. There's a day in my life when I dreamed of meeting Joseph McClendon. I'm like, that's an amazing human being. And I remember I first heard him speak in Leadership 2018 when I first heard Siri Lindley speak. Like, wow, it'd be amazing to like ever meet that guy. And to be doing a webinar with Joseph, that I want this to land, to be doing a webinar with Joseph McClendon and not mentioning it because of how much is happening. First, I apologize for not mentioning it to him and everyone because it was such an incredible moment. And to have that much going on right now, that much would have occurred in less than 24 hours from that webinar, to dropping in and sharing all the other things that we did and not mentioning that is utterly ridiculous. And I'm on my knees in gratitude that the acceleration and the positive things are happening to such a degree that something that remarkable, beautiful, and wonderful that Joseph McClendon's in this program, and we did a webinar together about it, would not be mentioned. That's ridiculous and unbelievable. And I don't know how, I don't know how my life could be in a place like that with such gratitude. And the answer is, oh yeah, the formula. I'm immensely grateful. It is Thankful Thursday. Thank you for being here. Thank you for everything that you add. Craig, brother, you are on fire. I hear it. Keep it up. We had an incredible breakthrough conversation yesterday. Craig is stepping into his greatness. You step into yours. Don't limit yourself. Don't be less. Get on to the role play tonight and have a beautiful, Thankful Thursday. Take care.